friends with me, but I am with the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast, and we're going to be coming in to visit your class one time a week for the next 6 weeks. And we are going to learn all kinds of things about having a pet, about what it takes to be a responsible pet owner. We're going to learn about character counts words and everything you ever wanted to know about owning a pet and how to do it the right way. We're also going to get a chance to meet some of our pets that we brought with us today. And each week we're going to have a group of pets to come visit you. So I'll tell you up front, so you kind of know how it goes. You're going to get a chance to pet all the dogs. And you're going to learn a little bit about them in a minute. And I'll answer your questions too. So at the end, we're going to have plenty of time. So don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to pet each dog, and then you can move around so everybody gets to pet all 3 dogs, okay? So right now, I'm going to ask our volunteers, all the ladies that are here and the gentleman, Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe is going to be our filmer today. He's got the iPad and the camera, so smile, you're going to be on TV. And I'm going to ask each of the ladies to introduce themselves and their dogs, and they're going to tell you what kind of dog they have, what their dog's name is, and a little bit about their dog. So I'm going to start with Miss Elaine, and I'll let her stand up and tell you a little bit about her dog, and you're going to get to meet her in a minute. Does everybody see my dog? Up close and personal before the day is done. My name's Elaine. This is Miss Elaine. Miss Beverly, come on up. And tell us about your dog, Miss Beverly.
This is Amy. By her name, you know, she's a little girl. And she's a year and a half old. And she's a breed that not very many people have heard of. Originated in Madagascar. Anybody know where Madagascar is? Where is it?
Africa.
Where?
I think it's close to like Asia.
Anybody else?
It's near Africa.
You're right. Very good. They've just been bringing them over in the last 10 years. She also has been going through she settles down a little bit, then we're going to start to teach her tricks. But right now, I'm more into making her behave herself.
That's right. So even dogs have to go to school. What breed is Amy?
She's a Couton teacher.
Wow.
You have to have a little French accent to pronounce it right.
Couton Lord, huh? She's very pretty.
It's a big name.
For a little dog. Okay, good. Thank you. Miss Nancy.
This is Karma. Karma's a golden doodle dog. And she's 8.5 years old. How old are you guys?
8.
Yeah, you're all the same age. Yeah, so you couldn't get along. And Karma's breed is she's half golden retriever and half standard poodle. And she's just, what she likes to do is just visit with everybody. She just wants to say a nice hello to everybody. And she's pretty much happy so long as she's just hanging out with me and her dad, Mr. Joe. Okay? Good.
Did you have one question? We'll let Ms. Nancy answer one question and then we'll keep going.
Okay.
Question?
I used to have 2 golden retrievers, but then they both died.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's what sometimes happens to our pets.
Okay, so
Okay.
hands down, so we have to keep going.
Okay.
We'll turn it back to Miss Kathy.
Yep, so, and you're gonna get to visit and learn a little bit about Karma and each of the other dogs when it's your turn to go pet them. Now, before we start, does anybody have a dog at home? Raise your hand. Oh, lots of people have dogs. Well, one of the things that you need to know when you visit with a dog, especially a dog that you don't know, is how to meet a dog in the proper way. Who knows how? Can you tell me?
You'll put like your hand in front of their face, like by their mouth, so they can sniff it and like get to know you, and then you'll be able to pet them after they know like what you smell like.
Very good. That is absolutely what you want to do. And I'll answer your question.
Or if you know how to shake your hand.
Or if they know how to shake your hand, and maybe when it's time to pet, maybe some of these dogs know how to do that. But all 3 of the dogs that are here today are specially trained therapy dogs, so they really know their manners and they know how to meet a lot of people that they don't know. But if you're out and about and you meet a strange dog, you want to always, number 1, ask the owner for permission to pet. And then, like she said, you want to put your hand down and let the dog sniff your hand. And then, do you want to come up to the dog and pat it on the head? Is that what you want to do? No, that's right. Thumbs down. What you want to do is you want to reach around and scratch them behind their ears and let them get comfortable with you so that they're nice and relaxed. And then if you want to reach up and pet them on the head, that's okay. But sometimes, especially, Karma is probably okay with it, but especially with a smaller dog, if you reach up and go like this right in front of their face, that makes it look like you might hit them, right? So you might scare them. So remember that, because when we get to the end of the presentation, you're going to have an opportunity to pet the dog, so you want to remember to do it the right way, which is putting your hand out, letting the dog sniff you, and then scratching behind their ears, and then you can like rub them on the top of the head after that. Okay, so one of the things that we're going to learn about as well today is what happens at the shelter. And that's where, I think everybody can
Sure. Do you want me to just click? Would that be easier?
Yeah, that would be great. Oh, you have it right there. See, I thought you had to go back to your desk. So what we're going to learn about today is what happens at the shelter and, you know, basically what kind of animals are at the shelter. Who knows what they think is at the shelter?
Dogs.
We have dogs. What else?
Cats.
Cats.
Snakes.
Hamsters.
Mammals.
We have mammals, but not all mammals.
Bunnies.
We have bunnies.
Chickens.
Ooh, we don't have chickens.
Gerbils.
Gerbils. So, to answer your question, what you said chickens, and I said, oh, we don't have chickens. What kind of animals do you think we don't have at the shelter?
Chickens.
Chickens, well, yeah. And in general, we don't have chickens, but what else?
Do you have birds?
We do have birds.
Cats.
We already said we had cats.
Might
Last
be
one.
not
Do
have.
you have bulldogs?
Well, a bulldog is a breed of dog. So what we don't have at the shelter, which kind of tied to your
An
answer,
elephant.
we don't have wild animals, and we don't have farm animals.
Aww.
So we don't have any cows, any sheep, any goats, anything like that. And we typically don't take any wild animals. So we're ready for our next slide. Yep, I'll just give you a thumbs up. So we have dogs of all ages and sizes, and you can see the big dog on the left, the Basset Hound. He's kind of an old dog. So we have old dogs, young dogs, big dogs, little dogs.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right. And all of these dogs, and you can see them in there, all of these dogs, the big dogs and the little dogs, they're all looking to find a new home.
I'll take one.
You'll take them off. Well, we're going to learn about taking them off. Okay, We have bunnies, and you can see, and Easter is coming up, so we have lots of bunnies.
And we're gonna go back and skip one, or is it okay?
I think we might have skipped the cats.
Yes, do you want me to go back?
Yeah,
You can
I
see
saw
the cats. We have some cute cat pictures. Oh, there we go. Cats and kittens. Look at that. So we get lots of cats at the shelter.
We've seen the milk.
And we get lots and lots of cats at the shelter. And then we're ready to go to the next one.
And here we go again.
Yep. And then we get lots of little, what we call our critters. We get guinea pigs, we get gerbils, and what else do you think we get?
And
Hamsters?
Hamsters. Yep, we get hamsters. We get dogs. Yep, okay, we're ready. We get parakeets and birds, and again, we don't get wild birds, we get birds that people have as pets. So we get parrots, little parakeets. We don't get any mockingbirds or crows or anything like that.
Owls?
No owls. And we even get ferrets. We have a whole lot of ferrets. Sometimes if you go to the pet store, you'll see a ferret. So we get all kinds of little critters like this, and these are popular pets for people. And then they end up at the shelter with us, and we try to find them new homes. I'm going to answer your questions at the end. How's that? Let's hold them all. So, my next question for you guys is, why do you think animals have come to the shelter? Right here.
It's a safe place that they can live until they find a special home that will take them from.
Absolutely. It's a really safe place for them to be until we can find them a new home. But why do you think they end up there in the first place?
Because people get pets and then they don't feel like taking care of them, so they just bring them to the shelter.
Yep, and there's lots of reasons, but what typically happens is that people get animals that they can't take care of for a lot of different reasons, and then they end up with us at the shelter. So some of the reasons that these pets are at the shelter, sometimes pets get lost. Maybe you have a dog and it doesn't have a collar, it doesn't have a leash, and it doesn't have a fenced-in yard, and it gets out of your yard and it starts running around the neighborhood, and then it can't find its way back home. So that's a lost or a stray animal. So those animals will get picked up by animal control. You can see the animal control van there. You might have seen that in your neighborhood, and they'll pick up strays that are wandering around on the streets, and they'll bring them in. Or sometimes if your pet gets lost and somebody finds it, and you don't have, I'll take your question in 1 minute, okay? Say you lose your pet, and you don't have a name tag on your pet, so nobody knows where to call or who it belongs to. What they will then do is they'll say, well, I know this is somebody's dog or somebody's cat. I'm just going to bring this to the shelter and maybe they can find it, because that's kind of like lost and found for pets. And then owners who can't take care of them anymore. And there's some reasons why people can't take care of their pets, and we kind of talked about it, but you know, it's kind of worth thinking about, especially if you are considering getting a new pet, and can you take care of your pet? And sometimes what happens to pets at our shelter is, you know, their owners are older or ill and can't take care of the pet anymore, so they feel like they have to give it up. Sometimes people move, and maybe they got a new job, or they're going to get a bigger house or a smaller house, and they can't take that pet with them because at the new place they say, hey, there's just not any room for our dog, so we're going to have to leave him behind. Sometimes maybe your family grows. You get a new brother or sister, and your parents say, oh, you know what, this is just too much with a new baby, and now we have these dogs, and we just can't do it all. So they give up the pet for that reason. And one of the most popular reasons, and I don't want to say popular, but one of the biggest things of why people give up their pets is they can't afford the pet anymore, because maybe the pet has a vet bill that's really expensive, it's money to feed the pet, it has medical expenses, and they just can't do it anymore, and they're on a budget, so they have to say, something's got to go, so it's the pet. So those are some of the reasons. So when the pets get to the shelter, they all want to find a new home, and so they're looking for somebody to make them their new family. So when they get there, what happens to them? What do you think happens to them when they get there?
I have a question.
Yes.
Hold on, everybody, let's answer this one.
Answer
Go
this
to
one.
our
What
question.
happens
That
to
way
pets
no one else
when they
forgets
get
what
there?
they're thinking, okay? What do you think first happens when the pet gets to the shelter? Parker, you wanna try?
Yeah, they sniff around, the pets sniff around. What do you think?
I think maybe when they get there, they might have some tests done, like if they're good or they might
Right.
break down.
Why do you think so?
They do get tests done. That was very good, very good.
They can they can go in a cage, but sometimes if they're sick, they can't, or like
What do you think would change time to them if they're sick, right?
they like if they're if they're like leg cut off or something dangerous can happen if they're on 95 or something and there's a lot of time left. And then
So do you think that they might have veterinarians to help care of them? So maybe a doctor comes and looks at them when
Yeah.
they get there. Okay.
So let's go to the next slide. We'll see what happens at the shelter. So when they get to the shelter, we have all kinds of volunteers, just like the volunteers that you just met. And when they get there, a lot of them have been out on the street or haven't had anybody to take care of them for a while. So we make sure they have plenty of food and plenty of water. We give them a nice, safe, warm, comfortable, or cool if it's the summer, place to sleep, so they get a little bed and they get their own little area. We give them lots of care and love, and that's the biggest thing that we do is we give them a lot of attention and a lot of care and love. We also, to your point, when they come in, we make sure that they are healthy. So they see the veterinarian and we check them for all kinds of things and make sure that they're healthy, and if they need medicine or they need any kind of medical attention, we give them that. Then we make sure they're spayed or neutered. And what that means is that they're not going to have any more puppies or kittens if it's a cat or dog anymore. So we make sure that they've been spayed or neutered and they're healthy before we can maybe try to find them a new forever home. Hang on one second. We also make sure that every day they get lots of exercise and lots of playtime. So we have an area where we walk the dogs, and every day all of our volunteers come in first thing in the morning and they walk the dogs, then they come back again at lunchtime, then in the afternoon, and then at night, and they put the dogs on their leashes and they walk them around. And we have cats, we have a cat area, and our volunteers come in and they play with the cats and help. We do what we call socializing, and that was kind of to your point about tests, is we help to socialize them to make sure that they know how to interact with people, because we're going to try to find them a new home. So you don't want somebody who's not nice, because it's hard to find a new home if you're not nice, right? So we give them lots of playtime, and they go out in the sunshine and relax a little bit and have some fun. And most importantly, we let them know that they're loved. And our volunteers spend a lot of time with the pets, just petting them and making sure that they know that somebody cares for them every day. And so there's a little puppy getting some love, and we give them medical. We call that giving them love too, and we take care of them, and we make sure they're healthy and they feel good.